Hey folks, I'm Deep, the CEO of 75F. At 75F, we make buildings more healthy, we make people more productive, and we end up saving a huge amount of energy. I started 75F when my daughter was 1. She would wake up in the middle of the night crying just because the temperature in her room was about 10 degrees too cold. As a self-respecting engineer, I quit my job to fix the damn problem, which is why we're talking today. When we started 75F, one of the key things I was looking at is like the entire building controls industry as it stands now, it's somewhat broken. Building controls are pretty sophisticated. You can do a huge amount of things with them, but they're kind of like Lego blocks. They require what's called a system integrator or a Lego master to come in and make a bespoke solution. So to us, that's a point where we could actually end up disrupting the industry. So we ended up making our entire complete building control solution. We call it a building intelligence system. The primary thing that we start with, the block that we start with, is with our sensors that measure things like temperature, humidity, light, occupancy, sound levels, and volatile organic compounds all in one, without requiring any integration. The second piece that we have is what we call a smart node. So this is what we introduce a concept of what's called software-defined hardware. What it does is it allows you to connect to different pieces of equipment using the same controller. So it takes on different personalities like your Swiss Army knife or like your phone to kind of have a different control algorithm for each piece of equipment. We take all of this data and we connect it back into a backhaul or a gateway called a CCU, or centralized control unit. The CCU then ends up sending all of the data back into the cloud, and that's where we run all our machine learning algorithms to make the entire building intelligent. So when we take into account the loads in the building, what's going to happen on the weather side, so all of that data feeds in to make the building more predictive and responsive. One key advantage to coming in from outside the industry is having a different perspective. So when we came in, we were not constrained by some of the inadequacies of the current control solutions. So we have a system that is highly adaptable and responsive. And one key way of demonstrating that when COVID hit, one of the things that we could do is we actually turned in a mode called epidemic mode. What it does is it actually complies with the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, and ASHRAE guidelines to make the buildings more healthier. What we're doing is we're trying to get in fresh air to make sure the viral load in a building is diluted. So this is one of the benefits that we could actually give to our customers. Not only that, the interesting thing is with the technology that we already had in place, with the sensors that we already have in place and the controllers that we have, we were able to actually tweak this epidemic mode so that it actually does not use as significant of an energy as you might expect. If you complied with just the CDC guidelines blindly, you end up having the energy usage is about 2 to 3x. We are about 60% more energy efficient than the CDC guidelines themselves, right? And this has been verified. We've done some pretty interesting research with the National Renewable Energy Labs to help measure and validate these data sets. We are out building the world's best BMS, and we are backed by some of the biggest names in climate change, which includes Breakthrough Energy Ventures, which is backed by Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, and Climate Initiative, which at $1.3 billion is the world's largest climate-focused fund. If you're in a building, either working yourself or in charge of a building that you believe could be healthier and you want to save energy costs, please get in touch with us and we'll show you how we might be able to help you.